Hi there, everyone. Happy Friday. Meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you on a big day, right? Mariners, Tigers, Game 5 should be exciting. Here's we head throughout the night. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, hopefully the Mariners would have already gotten the win and moving on to the American League Championship Series. Well, we got some active weather here. Definitely going to be fall-like as we head on into the weekend. We're expecting snow into the mountains, and yeah, there's going to be some rain in the lowlands too. First, though, let's get into the latest information we have, which are advisories and watches up this way across the North Cascades, both the western slopes as well as the eastern slopes. Now, that purple color, that's where we have the winter weather advisory, starting up at 5 o'clock, heading on into Sunday morning and lasting until 5 into Monday morning. Possibly up to 7 inches of snow for those elevations above 5,000 feet, and possibly up to a foot of snow as you head up across those areas east of the Cascades, where we could see for elevations above 3,000 feet, yeah, up to close to a foot of snow. Will be great news. Hopefully we can get some down there, or at least some rain or some moisture down there closer to the fire as we get closer to Chelan County. So that's the active weather that's ahead across there, and it makes sense because snow levels will be dropping here as we head into the weekend, as low as 4,000 feet here on this side of the mountains. You saw a bit lower as you head farther east across the mountains, but then beginning to pick back up as we go later on into next weekend. For those of you who wanted to know, Tigers, Mariners, Game 5 tonight, expecting to see some showers, maybe more clouds as we head on into the end of the game. All right, it's going to cool down as we head on into the weekend. Highs only in the 50s Saturday and Sunday, and we keep that around heading into Monday as well. By Tuesday, things are clearing out. We're seeing more sunshine, and really by late Monday, we're starting to see that drying trend, and that's something we'll see quite a bit of heading into next work week. By next Friday, maybe a few more showers back into the forecast as we head on into that point. All right, this is what's driving a lot of what we're seeing right now, that big spinning area of low pressure just off of the north coast of California, south coast of Oregon, which once it pushes on through, expect those snow levels to drop in here in Stevens Pass. We'll see some of the first flakes of the season. Here around Tacoma, no snow, but we're going to see rain as we head over the next few days. Kind of a coolish evening as we head on into Friday night. And here in Seattle, too, more of those clouds draped across the sky, along with some glow right behind those clouds as we sit currently in the low 60s, look to drop down into the 50s, maybe some spots into the upper 40s here late into the night, but more dry times than not if you have any sort of outdoor plans this evening. You can see the radar. It's rather active as you head farther north up here near the Canadian border. Whatcom County getting in on more of the steady rain for the time being, while areas farther south here, closer to Hood Canal, Mason County, and now beginning to head up into more of the Kitsap Peninsula. We'll be seeing some of these showers here into the early part of your Friday evening and into maybe even the first part of your Friday night. Big picture, you can see the spinning area of low pressure continuing to drive a lot of this, and I wanted to point out what's happening farther south because, again, this could be a sign of what's ahead for us. Some of that blue popping up here into northern California, southern Oregon. That is snow for them. Again, higher terrain stuff for us. Still going to be a little while. We've got a few lightning strikes out there, too, across the eastern side of the state. All right, so as we look at Futurecast, you'll see that spin in the atmosphere. Keep things rather active as we head into the evening. Not going to see a ton of rain. It does enhance a little bit late tomorrow morning and into early afternoon. That's 2 p.m. And this is going to start to sweep on through. Once it heads off to the east, we're going to see at least a brief moment of quiet, but then we'll start to see things really ramp up into more of late Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. All of this being driven by this low and this bigger push of cooler air that's going to be coming in. That will be a secondary system, and we'll back that up for you kind of to show you exactly the timing. Again, late Sunday morning into early Sunday afternoon, and you can see all the blue that's popping up across the Cascades at that point as this starts to make its way on by. That's why we have some of those advisories and watches out as this system starts to make its way on through. So when we're talking about rainfall with this, we're probably going to keep most of that farther north from areas Seattle northward where we can get closer to a half inch, if not more. I would say generally, though, between about a quarter to a half an inch for most locations. And for those of us up around Snohomish, Skagit County, here we go. It's that time of the year. The convergence zone is going to start to ramp up. Could pick up close to an inch, if not more, of rain as we head over to the next 2 to 3 days. And as we continue to look at what's happening with the snowfall, well, we did say that the higher passes will get in maybe a little bit more of the action. Could be around Stevens Pass and maybe White Pass around 1 to 2 inches. I think White Pass, that's a little overdone for us. maybe up to 3 inches. We're going to see some melting. We're going to see some mixing within some of that snowfall that we're going to see. Paradise, maybe close to a foot of snow. We're above 5,000 feet, so we're within that window and with that range of seeing a good amount of snowfall and staying snowfall as we go throughout the night. And yes, Snoqualmie Pass, I would say it would be hard-pressed to get anything to stick down there with the snow level staying relatively high, but do expect to see at least a few snowflakes in the air as we head on into that point. Eastern side of the mountains, Mission Ridge, nice to see that maybe foot to maybe foot and a half of snow ahead. And this system, that second one that's going to sweep on through, well, that helps to draw in some of the cool air, especially during the overnight hours. But behind, high pressure builds in, and that's going to help us to stay quiet as we head on into Tuesday, Wednesday, and it looks like more so into Thursday as well before this next system heads in, heading on into late Thursday night and into Friday, helping to bring back some more rain into our area. All right, forecast tonight, we're going to drop those numbers down into the mid and upper 40s for lows, 50s as you head farther to the north. Highs tomorrow topping off generally in the mid to upper 50s. Not going to be too warm at all tomorrow, maybe a 60 or 2 out there, but generally we're going to keep those highs in the 50s for Saturday and also into Sunday, which is looking like a pretty wet day. Monday, showers get out if you're early, and then afterwards we get a dry stretch of weather heading into next Tuesday through Thursday as highs rebound back into the 60s and sunshine does return. Those chilly overnights, though, those are going to be with us with lows well into the 40s and probably seeing some 30s as we head on into those next few mornings. All right, so make sure to have the rain gear if you are going to be heading out at any point here over the weekend. We're going to have the wettest day, it looks like, on Sunday, so keep that in the back of your mind, too. And for those of you who are excited about the snow, well, at least a little bit right now across our passes. Hopefully, there will be more to come as we go throughout the month and throughout the next few months with fall and winter ahead. Okay, everyone, well, take care. Have a fantastic Friday night. Really loud for the Mariners. We'll talk to you soon.